Hello.
Hola.
How's everyone? This
¿Cómo
is
estás?
Eugene and Andrea, your relationship strategist, the builder and educator, helping you navigate life's most important goals, your relationships. So today we're introducing the Power Couple Quickie,
So deep.
keeping
So
the
deep.
main
Hey, Deanna.
thing, the
Diana.
main thing.
Keeping the main thing, the main thing.
Keeping the main thing, the main thing. So,
Yeah.
keeping the main thing, the main thing. Hey, Charles, keeping the main
Charles.
thing, the main thing is prioritization.
Yeah.
Prioritization
Of what?
of what? So, when you're keeping the main thing, you understand a couple of things of how to prioritize first self.
Okay.
I love that one. I love that one.
I'll take it. Go.
And then the other thing is knowing how to prioritize
Okay.
your neighbor.
Why?
Your partner.
Oh, your partner. Okay.
Yes.
Because neighbor's different than partner.
It is.
I'm following. I'm trying to see where you're going here, but go ahead.
Well, that's
I mean,
kind of like
okay,
the.
so technically our partner is our neighbor, but still, I mean, you got to be.
So we
you know,
so
gotta
we
be
kind of talking
Pacific.
about being like, so in order to have a dynamic duo or power couple,
Are we talking? So we're talking to couples.
Yeah.
Tell me, who are we talking to today? 'Cause
we're
I'm
talking
following
to
you.
the power couples today.
Are we talking to the couples?
We're talking to the couples today
We're talking to people in romantic partnerships.
in romantic partnerships.
Okay, now talk again. I'm gonna try to focus on you.
You can focus on okay.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
so romantic partnerships, the dynamic piece within romantic partnership and how you synergize your energy.
Or one of them. One of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You start with. I'm starting.
Okay.
Forward, coming
Hey,
backwards.
Okay. Okay. Go. I'm
And
listening.
having a great dynamic relationship, right? You
One
have
of
to,
the things, yeah.
One of the things you have to focus on is focusing on your individuality, right?
Okay,
Keeping
I
the
can go
main
with that.
thing. The main thing is making sure that you prioritize yourself.
Ooh. I got something to say.
Go ahead.
So it's like when they're on
Hey,
the
Otis.
It's so it's like when you're on the airplane and they say, before you help anybody else, put your mask on.
Help yourself.
Help yourself.
You got to help yourself because I
Yes.
think that's the strength of a dynamic couple, a dynamic relationship, a dynamic organization when everybody involved understands the power of self, how to give yourself.
But
Go
that's
ahead.
what I'm say.
Go ahead.
But I thought that was selfish. Like when you
Nah.
let me say what I gotta say. Because like when you think about yourself, isn't that selfish? Like to think about yourself and only yourself, or to prioritize that, isn't that like selfish?
Now I like to think of it like being self-full, right?
Yeah. I've heard
See,
that.
I got to get full in order
Yeah.
to be all of me, so I can be all of that for all of
Ooh,
you, for all of us.
I got a question.
Go
My hand
ahead.
in
Go
there.
ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
So how do I know? How can I know if I'm going too far? How do I know if I got the right mix? If I'm hitting the sweet spot?
You know what? That's a
With
good
helping
question
myself.
because when you helping yourself, I think that it's going to be different on different days. So it's
Okay.
not like a magic combination, right? You know when you need your rest. You know when you need your attention. When you got to go out.
Like this morning at 5:30 when you was trying to get me to talk about business.
Yeah, and you didn't feel like talking.
And I told you you're gonna need to come back at like 7. Give me till like at least 7 a.m.
Right.
And then we can talk about websites.
give
and
you 36 inches.
just give me
Like back up.
back it
Get up
up,
off me.
brother.
I'm talking
Oh my
business
God.
at 5:30.
5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you got to be about it to do about it.
Oh my
What's
gosh.
up, Robert?
So Otis says only if it's at the exclusion of your other.
Good
Hey,
point,
Tulani.
Otis. Good point.
I love
Hey,
you.
Tulani.
So
At the exclusion of your other. That's good.
I want to know more about that, Otis. Write something else. I want to understand that better, what you're saying.
Right.
Because I think the thing is that there's a duality to it. There's
It
a
is.
part that's like, it's about being self-full. It's about being full. But then there are times when, for some people, that feels like I'm going to be full regardless of how it affects anybody else. And my particular opinion is that when we choose to be in a romantic partnership,
Okay.
that we are choosing
Yes.
to prioritize that person that we said we are partnering with
That's right.
as well. And so when we are, hey Eunice, when we are going and we're so far and we're just going to keep going, I think that there has to be a balance.
It is.
I think we have to know how we position ourselves, how it's affecting other people.
Right.
Now, this is the most I'm not. I know that there's a depth to this, and there's a lot of complexity to this, because for example, if you're a mother, okay, we can try to hide in the bathroom. Yeah, we can try to hide in the bathroom. However, at some point, we have to come out, and we have to talk to the people, and that's including my teenagers. So there's this part of it that's not just simple and cut and dry, but if there's just the message is that we have to know it's okay to take time for ourselves. It's okay to replenish and to give from our overflow. To give from the overflow of what we have, and not always giving, scraping from the bottom of like, I think I got a little bit more left to give. And I think that that's where we often settle. We are at the bottom of the barrel. It's like, if I got it to give you, I will, but do you really have it to give?
Exactly. So
if your barrel is empty, do you have it to give? And what happens when your barrel is empty?
When you're giving reserves.
I say that as, I'll say this, my mom was one of those givers. And she's been transitioned 24 years now. But even after she passed away, we would find letters, and my sisters and I started to look at things a little bit differently, because she was always giving. She was, hey, hello, Christopher. She was always giving. She was always giving. And as we have grown into adulthood, we looked and we said, maybe what we saw as such a noble thing of giving to the point where you had nothing left, maybe that's something that we need to reconsider. Maybe we need to put some more inside of ourselves, because at the point where we are, we look and we say, I wish I had my mother. I wish she had met her grandchildren. I wish all these things. But when we look back as adult women, we said, Ma was so talented, so gifted, so good at so many things, that she was always giving from her reserve. And when we read her old letters, we can see she was giving from her reserve. And so we say we need to consider how that affected her and how we can do something different.
That's the flip side of prioritization. Like when you're giving, you actually also have to see the person you're in partnership with. Sometimes you might have to give some helpful advice, like, you know what, maybe I should give you a little bit more time this morning. Maybe you should. maybe I shouldn't be all over.
Maybe you should not be asking me for access codes and passwords at 5:35 in the morning.
But see,
perhaps I can have a little more rest.
That's
first.
right. And so if I'm actually being all the way there and showing that we're being interdependent, being dependent to, we're independent and also interdependent, then we understand one another. So Otis is saying, what did he say?
Otis been saying a minute, but those letters may have been because of a sense of limited time. Otis, there were a lot of things that she said to my sister, to my dad, and things that showed that she did feel that, that sense of that urgency of time. And in my mind, Otis, I thought and I said, at what point, I mean, no matter how wonderfully talented we are, at what point do we become, or we get to the place where we can see the bottom of our well and say, you know what, I don't even know how much time I will have. I need to leave messages, or I need to do whatever. At what point, how much depletion? Some of us live in a depleted space as our normal space. And I think that it's important for us to consider that. Consider how that plays out. So I do wanted to bring out in that point is that if you do have someone that you're in partnership with, romantic partnership with, and you see, be intuitive. If you see your partner, just giving, right? Don't just always, be there just to take, but reciprocate that by giving your partner that opportunity to get rest, to get satisfaction of self by spending time, with themselves. Let them, with themselves, with their friends,
sitting
in a space. Maybe on the outside it looks like nothing, but
and you have to study yourself.
Jamal.
You have to be.
Hey, Chandra.
You have to be studied for yourself. You have to be studied, with your friends, because what goes for one person may go different from another person. Maybe it might be reading a book. Maybe it might be dancing.
Whatever.
Maybe it might be whatever the case may be.
I look at it as some kind of diffuser kind of thing. Like, okay, well, first we were talking about filling up, right? Being self-full. But then, and I always like when I hear people say it's self-full. I love that. I love that. That's always worked really well for me.
Yes.
But there's also the place of where tension can pull.
Hey, Jamal.
Can get, tighten us up. And you told me this.
Mm-hmm.
I was working with some pregnant women, and afterwards, I was exhausted to the point where I could just barely and I had just given everything I had. And I mean, I've done manual labor and work and never fallen, but I was like, I can't move. And my husband was like something as simple as, you weren't breathing. Like I had planned to take a dance break for us or whatever. Yes, decompress, Otis.
Yes.
I had planned to take a dance break, but I got into my mind, my compartments. I got to thinking. And dancing, when I had stuff to do, no longer was a great idea.
Yes.
Because we could do other stuff. So now we're not going to dance. But technically, I had planned to have a dance break. We're going to dance. And I didn't. And my husband was like, well, hey, Savannah. My husband was like, well, maybe if you had taken that break, it would have given you time to decompress. So, sometimes it's about not depleting yourself. And then sometimes it's about not winding yourself up so tight,
right?
Where you just do this,
right.
However that needs to look in your mind. Hey, Candace. However that needs to look in your mind, figure out what that needs to look like in your mind,
exactly.
Because we cannot give from depletion.
Right.
We cannot fully give. How can I breathe if I'm not breathing and if I'm like this? How can I fully give everything that I could?
So that's going to cause you to have to study yourself. You're going to have to know yourself. You have to, in order to know yourself, you have to know things that work for you to allow for a quick way to restore. Hey, Nita Boo.
Hey, Nita Boo.
How do you get that restoration? How do you do
that?
That takes study. That takes time.
Look, some people are going to say, I pray and I get renewed. Other people are going to be like, looking like something off Grey's Anatomy, having a dance party, the dance break. People are going to have their ways, like you said, different ways of doing it.
For me, it's taking off my work boots on the drive home and putting on my flip-flops and turning on some Spanish Latin mix. That's how I get my revival. So when I come home, I'm like charged for the family.
I don't know. I have different whatevers on some days. Some days I want to be alone and I don't want to talk to anybody. And that means that my husband and my sons, over time, they're like, no, Mommy don't want to kiss you right now.
That's right.
And I mean, they're 13. The youngest one is 14, so it's not about hurting anybody's feelings at this point. Right. He's like, you owe me a kiss. So you're demanding at this point? No, I'm not going to kiss you. Right. Leave me alone.
Keeping the main thing,
main thing. And so it's like, I tell my husband, I tease them, I said, you're taking. That's what I do. Like if he comes and he's like, oh, even if he's like, oh, I love you, I love you. And I can tell when it's giving and when it's taking. This is weird. Okay. I can tell when he's doing like a weird, like taking, slurping, and it's like, I love you so. You're so beautiful. I said, oh. Yes. I said, no. He's like, let me kiss you. And I'm like, nope, you're taking.
That's me, though. See, because I'm a Philly touchy kind of, yes. And then that could be, too much.
I have a lot of sons that like affection. And
yes, that's because they like their daddy. They love their mama. They love their mama. So keeping the main thing in prioritization is understanding how to equip yourself to revitalize yourself so that you're good for yourself, right? And in order to be in being good for yourself, you're able to be good for others that are around you.
Can you tell me this, if you can, type in, what are some things that you do either to fill yourself up, replenish, or to decompress? What are some things you do to fill yourself up? What are some things you do to decompress?
Getting rid of those cloggages, getting rid of
what
those
are some
things,
of the, I mine or whatever, but what are some things that you do? Because it's really important. And before we go off, you were going to say, so you say keeping the main thing. I think the second part of that, is you put your mask on so that you can then help somebody else.
Yes.
You put your mask on so that you can help somebody else. What good does it do to put your mask on and going about your business and everything around you, and you're replenished, and now you're not doing anything?
So what does
Christoph
say?
It's a spider. Look at this spider that decides to hang here.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill you, little spider, but if you don't move.
So Christoph is saying, so true. You cannot give what you.
Hey, you
cannot give what
give
what you freely have not received or been given. It's so hard sometimes, but if we don't allow ourselves to receive with an open heart or give.
I'm trying to see it. Hold
or
on.
Give.
There it is.
With an open heart, we literally get stuck. It's synergistic. Synergistic to give and receive. That's right. It's a circle. It's like working with a renewable resource, but you have to have an energy within yourself, a drive, right, to be able to give. But you got to get yours to give to others, to give to that significant others. So keep the main thing by prioritizing yourself.
Prioritizing yourself in the context of that person. It's not just prioritizing yourself. It's not just that. You remember, you agreed to this. Exactly. You said you wanted this.
Right.
So this thing is moving and going somewhere.
That's all right. So you're giving. Actually, you're giving with an intent in mind. So it's a purpose and an intent to where and why and how you're giving. You're not only thanks for that heart and them loves. It's not only that you're just giving, just for the sake of giving or taking, just for the sake of taking. It's an intent.
It's an intent. And it's for the bigger vision. It's for the greater thing that you're building.
Us, it's for our legacy.
Now, listen, I want to repeat, I'm not simplifying this and taking very complex things. I know that we go through many things, especially in our romantic partnerships.
That's right.
Some of us feel taken advantage of. Other ones feel like people don't appreciate us. All kinds of things. This is not what that is. This is not like, we're going to try to tell you how to fix this, that, and the other. Know if you have more, if you have situations that require more attention and more care.
Exactly.
But you also know if perhaps some of the issues can be settled and made better if you just looked at your partner and said, oh, I get what it is. He's depleted right now. Or she's depleted. She's scraping from the bottom of her bucket.
Right.
She's scraping from the very bottom. What can I do? Okay? Or if you decide to look and say, wow, I'm a little bit tense right now.
Right.
I'm tense. Maybe I need to find a way to decompress a little bit.
That's right.
Okay? So you got to take care of yourself.
That's right.
Right?
Take care of yourself. Keep the main thing
the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing.
That's right. Prioritization.
Boop, boop. All right.
Don't be taking so much.
Don't be taking so much.
Don't be taking such. Just sucking it all up. Sucking it all up.
See
you guys. Bye.
Bye.